Catholics have is that they have truly crossed the threshold by lifting themselves up to be equal with God. Because anytime the priest or the pope says that we must call them Father and kiss the ring on their hand to lift themselves up as if they are reverent, this is an insult to the Most High God. The Lord wants me to tell you this, though, because many people don't even know how to really start seeking God. But God has a way. He can give us a word. He can just speak one word to you. And that word that he speaks is for you to look it up. That's why we have dictionaries. And some of us, we have Google. When you look up the word, it's actually you and him playing hide and seek. Because when you look it up, then he'll give you insight. You must seek him to find him. He gives us one word sometimes to see if we care enough to know what it means from his heart. For example, the Lord spoke to me a few words last night. He woke me up out of my sleep. Not that I slept much. But he gave me the word. He said, Your Honor. I said, well, that's judge. That's what they call judges when we're in courts. Why are you saying Your Honor to me? And then the Lord began to expound. He is the judge. And he went on to tell me what he's judging. And then he gave me the word windfall. And then he gave me the word platoon. And then there was a message. Long. Gave it personal. But he also showed me what's going on in the body. When you look up the word platoon, it said it's two or more squads coming together. If you just think about that, if you got angels coming together gathering, what's about to go on? Because the platoon works in military efforts. Too many of us try to put God in a box. We try to figure out and say, this is the way God is going to do this thing. Nope. His methodology is unsearchable. And we need to get out of ourselves. The first question. Hallelujah. This person wants to know that when they hear their name being called, like at work, is it really God calling? Because they can ask the persons whose voices sound like call them. And they'll say, I ain't said nothing. But what's funny is that when they do actually call the person, then they don't say nothing. It can be a little confusing sometimes. But God will call us by name using familiar voices. He does that in order to get our attention. Because most times when he speaks, nobody hears it. Because everybody wants God to yell. He doesn't. If you ever read the book of Job, when God came to Job, there was all this thundering and lightning going on, just terrifying. And then God says, how are you? He has a still small voice. He's not in the noise. And that's a revelation right there. He's not in the noise. So when you got a lot of junk going on, God ain't in the midst of it. Many times when he calls you, we don't hear him. We don't react. We don't respond. So that's why he'll use a voice that we recognize to quicken us. He can do this also in dreams, not just as an audible voice when you're walking around or in an office setting or in the grocery store. And you know don't nobody in there supposed to know your name. But he uses the familiar voices to draw us in. He also comes in dreams. And sometimes you may hear a familiar voice, or he'll give you a dream of somebody that you once knew, like a grandmother. Your angels also appear like that because it may be somebody that's familiar to you and that's your angel's name. And they have a message for you. Many times we miss God because we're not open to see. Because there's limitations on us, whether it's from religion or just pride, you don't want to do better. How can I get from point A to point B and still be in the will? This is a question God wanted me to ask on behalf of somebody that wouldn't ask the question. Pay attention to the signs, meaning listen for his voice, follow red flags in your spirit, watch as well as pray. God will always lead you. He will always show you if there's roadblocks, if you're sensitive enough to pay attention. Sometimes you can be driving, and all of a sudden you have an urge to go left rather than going right. And that's actually God telling you that there's a wreck this way, you need to go the other way. Sometimes we just want to go from, you told me of this, and we think we can jump from here and already be up here. Doesn't work like that. You have to be prepared. And the way has to be prepared for you, so that you won't fall at your stumbling blocks and get stuck. So that you won't walk into quicksand and no one can find you.